Is it going now? Is it rolling? Do you want me to sit? Knees up, knees down? Might have your gloves. Hands are freezing. Wait, sorry, pause. Hello everyone and welcome to Between the Seams Volume 3.
I've actually got one in the sling waiting. The boys have come down to have a little look and take some pictures. Nice 30 pounder in February, can't really complain with that. One of the fish I haven't caught yet as well, so even more special.
So it's been a good few months now since the last episode went out just before Christmas, and it's been a really busy period for us. The winter seems like it's dragged along this year, if you can even call it a winter. It's been so mild. With that, I haven't really managed to get out and do much fishing. The other boys have. Tristan and Kieran have been out doing a little bit this winter. We did put a bit of time aside for our annual Christmas social on the local Runs water. Tristan's been out this winter pike fishing with his lure rod, and Kieran's been doing really well in his winter waters on his local club lakes. So without rambling on for too much longer, here's a few little sections of what we've been up to this winter. Take one. Don't drink goo.
Hello and welcome to Between the Seams Volume 3. Kicking this one off with something a little bit different. Louis, myself and Kieran have come over to a little dating water near us that we thought would be perfect to get a few bites and finish off the year with our Christmas social. I'm not going to lie, it's a venue that's absolutely stacked full of fish, so it's a perfect place for all three of us to come up here and get a good bend in the rod this time of year. We've got about 2 days left now before we break up for Christmas. We've been working hard, so we thought we'd take the day off midweek, get over here, catch a few fish, get the barbecue on, have some decent food, and have one last social before the year ends. Perfect little winter social.
I needed a scourger.
Where's Terry Herman? You need him?
He's probably in the bush over there chewing his tiger nuts, mate. Good old tell.
As I said, it is a very prolific lake, to the point where all three of us have actually had to reel in just so we can get this intro piece done. We've been fishing for around about 2 hours and we've had upwards of 15 fish. So we're going to have a quick look at some of the better ones of the bunch now, get the barbecue on and actually get the rods back out, and hopefully the action continues into this evening.
Well,
Right, to get the rods back out, to be fair.
yeah, let's do it. These fish are cold, aren't they?
Yeah, mate, these fish are freezing.
Common. That's signed the nice off nicely. I think I'm going to reel the rods in now and concentrate on a bit of food, tie up some rigs for the morning, have a bit more action when the sun comes up after a good bit of grub. We're going to have a nice barbecue, a bit of a social now, warm up round the chimney here, and have some grub. Yeah, signing out for the evening. What was
That
that?
is bright, mate.
Is it?
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Between the Cheese.
Between the cheese. We have a fine French brie. I believe we've got an Italian Stilton here, all the way from Carp itself. We've got a smoked applewood cheese. What's this one called, Kieran?
That's a Wensleydale.
Got a Wensleydale with some cranberries in it, which is a lovely, nice festive feel to the dish. So,
What was the wine choice? Does the wine complement the cheese?
It does, but we drank it all. So I can't really compare at the moment.
Brings out the creaminess.
I still have the mild aftertaste of the Malbec
Yeah.
at the minute.
Personal favourite, that one, though.
I'm going to go 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
Standard average. Anyway.
So the brie's not the one, really.
The brie was nice, but I do like a cheddar, but I'd like it melted with some Marmite on it, you see.
Ooh.
This is like an actual cheese show movie going on right now.
Oh, sorry, can't put it in because Louis keeps saying. Right, I'm going in with the cheddar.
Yep. How's that?
I like my cheddar melted. 5.
5 out of 10?
Yeah, for a
This
cheddar.
is the one, this is the daddy.
I'm going to go in again with the butter. It's only a fair test. Can you hear that scratch? It's a good biscuit, that is.
Is that when you know it's a good biscuit?
Yeah, when you
Only
hear
the
that.
best for my car.
Can you hear it? Oh.
Snippability.
The sniffability is a 9, but durability didn't break. Good biscuit.
Good durable biscuit, that.
It's a good durable
good
biscuit. Oh, this one's a smoked oakwood, is it?
No, it's just a smoked Austrian smoked
Austrian
cheese.
smoked
Yeah,
cheese.
not Swiss, Austrian.
A lot more enjoyable on a biscuit. It's a 7. Weird cheese,
Looking forward to some of that.
almost like a bit of Dairy Lee, but firmer.
It is the cheese of the week.
Right, Wensleydale.
Wensleydale.
With cranberries.
With lots of added cranberries.
That's nice.
Yeah,
Is it?
I told you, Wensleydale, mate.
It's like a bit more creamy, but
It's got a bit of sweetness to it.
what's the sweetness? It's a little bit dry though. But I quite like it.
So you like something that crumbles.
A bit like my fishing career. Crumbled.
Right, we better get a close up of the verdict for cheese of the week.
Du-du-du-dum.
Bear in mind it's Christmas week.
I'm gonna have to go to Wensleydale. That's gonna be an 8 for me.
Added Christmas.
That's going to be an 8 for me as a Wednesday. As this cheap war goes, it's an 8 for me. Yeah, I'm going to go to Wensleydale.
Du-du-du-dum.
So signing off for 2018, our favourite cheese
2018,
is
the Wensleydale.
boom.
That's a wrap.
We all reeled in last night. It wasn't the warmest of all night. It's got in a sleeping bag because, quite frankly, if you left the rods out, you were getting absolutely no sleep at all. So this morning, round about first light, we got up, had a coffee, had a bit of breakfast, and myself and Kieran have just got the rods back out and nick a couple more fish before we go home, actually. So there we go, one from first light this morning. Probably not the biggest of the session, nice little character. I know we keep saying it, but the action's been absolutely relentless. So after reeling in last night and actually getting some sleep, pinged the rods back out just on first light. And yeah, it didn't take long to get back amongst them. Got about an hour left of the session now, so I'm going to slip this one back, enjoy the rest of the time we've got left just before we get back off to work and wrap up before we break up before Christmas.
Okay, so I've just recast a rod because I can't keep 2 rods in the water at the minute. I've had 4 bites in 15 minutes. So I've got 4 carp in all separate nets. And to be honest, the average size of them has been a lot better than what we have been catching. So we're going to put a couple of rods over there hope to nab one of the better ones. It's looking quite hopeful. So here's one of the culprits of that 4 fish catch in 15 minutes. It's really kicked off over on that snaggy bush. For a time of year, we can't really complain really. They're not massive fish, but we're the back end of December now. It's pretty cold today, and to get a bend in the rod, it's absolutely brilliant at this time of year.
Well, that brings us to an end of our pretty hectic session. It's been a good Christmas social, hasn't it, boys? It's been a good one. Definitely caught a lot of carp. I would guess somewhere between 40 and 50 fish between us. I haven't actually fished today because it was a bit relentless yesterday. But yeah, we've certainly achieved what we wanted to, which was to come and have a good social. Had some nice food on the barbecue yesterday and caught a load of fish as well. Regardless of the size, we've had a good time. So I guess we'll see you next time.
Look at this for a carp. You join me at the tail end of what's been by far the best winter session I've ever had. I've had 12 bites in 2 nights, and this is just a fine example of what I've been having. At just over £20, and it's certainly not the biggest one I've had this session. So I'm going to get a couple of pictures of this one and put the kettle on, and I can tell you exactly what I've been doing on this session. What a carp. It's been somewhat of a crazy winter session for me. I've had 12 bites. When I got here on the Monday, the lake was quite busy, and down this corner of the lake, it was on the back of the wind, and the wind was really cold. So I come up here, there was no angling pressure at all, and I dropped 2 rods in close. I had a little bit of work to do on the laptop, so I wasn't really in a rush to sort the rods out properly. But I put them in close anyway, and no longer than an hour, and one of the rods was away with a 22-pound common. Not a bad way to start a Monday morning. I soon reeled the rod in, which was a little bit further out, and put that down in close as well, and instantly that was away as well. So I thought I was onto a good session here. So I quickly finished my work before putting the rods back out, prepped a couple of spots out a little bit further for the night ahead. There's a spot about 10 wraps out. It's quite a deep little corner, this one. It drops down to like 14, 15 foot. And 10 wraps out, there's a nice little gravel patch. There's a couple of humps and bumps out there, so I went to fish just on the face of them. Force bombs is all I put out. Put a little pink pop up over that, and that was that rod sorted for the night. Now, what's been occurring in this session has been I've been getting savage liners. I think the fish are swimming up the shelf and then down the shelf. So I thought I'd keep bringing the rod a wrap back every time I got a liner until the liners stopped. And when the liners stopped, I then got a take every single time. So the bites quickly came throughout the day. I think I had 5 on the first day, which was mind-blowing. And then yesterday I also had 2 or 3, I think, doing the same sort of thing. Little single pink pop-ups to where they're swimming along and just picking them off. First light, the rod which was just a bit further out, melted off, and I got this absolutely crazy little mirror in a lake which is full of commons. So I'm well happy with this. it got really busy yesterday. There was 12 anglers on and they was all fishing right out in the middle and putting a lot of bait out, and they wasn't very successful. Nothing come out yesterday, but I was managing to pick them off just on the singles. They haven't woke up properly yet. They're moving about, but they're not feeding massively. They're just picking little bits still. So that's what I've been doing, and it's really worked. And that brings us on to today, which has been absolute carnage, to be honest. I had a double take earlier, which included a 20 and a 25, which was the biggest I've had. 25-pound common, absolutely mint. Right, 12th bite of the session. Can't believe I'm saying that, but fish number 12, and it's also the biggest and probably by far the prettiest. Absolutely mint, hasn't got a mark on it. Perfect mouth as well, looks like it hasn't been hooked in ages. Went absolutely crazy down the margin. Good 15-minute battle. And what a carp. If I don't have anything else now, I really don't care. It's been a crazy session. Only a few hours left. It would be nice to get another one, but what a fish this would be to end. What a session it's been. 12 bites, I never expected that. It's been really, really enjoyable. We've had all sorts of weather. Yesterday I was in a t-shirt. Today I'm freezing, about to put my coat back on because it's raining again. And last night we had really savage winds and torrential rain all night. So we've had a bit of everything, but the fish have played ball for me. And we haven't got long left on this ticket now. It runs out next week, so it's time to focus my efforts elsewhere, which I'm really, really looking forward to. And I think Tris will be joining me on that one, and we can't wait. The winter's been brilliant. Couldn't really ask for more. Nothing massive, but it's not all about the size of the fish. So after that mild spell we had in January, all of a sudden came a really cold spell, and all the lakes around here froze solid. It got down to like -4, -5s, and along that we had a busy show season, and the time kind of flurried away, to be honest, and I didn't really manage to get over as much. Done a couple of day sessions on local day tickets with a couple of mates, just to keep that bend in the rod and keep the buzz alive. And I actually done all right as well there. I went to Blasford Hill one day with my mate Alex, and it was a really hard day. It was cold, very wet, and we didn't see anything all day until right at the end of the session. I found some fish fizzing in close, little bag over the top, and it soon rattled off and had a nice 22-pound common. So February was soon upon us, and to be honest, I'd done very little fishing in February. It's my birthday at the start of February. We also had a lot of work on leading up to the Northern Angling Show, which was a really crazy show, great vibe over there. But towards the end of February, I kept thinking about this little lake which is close to my heart, which I used to fish when I was about 14, and I caught my first ever 30-pounder from there. It's quite a small lake, but it's fairly shallow, so it does fish quite well in the winter. So I went over there for a couple of days, and I managed to catch one of the fish which I didn't previously catch when I used to fish it, and to be honest, it's probably the best one in the lake. Fish named Bella, zip linear, just over 30 pounds. So I was soon on the phone to Lou and Trist, and they popped down and done the magic with the cameras, and what an awesome fish that was. How about this for an absolute banger? 30-pounder, 8 ounces. On a February day, 17 degrees, it's crazy weather.
can't complain at that. One of the few ones that I haven't had yet out of here. And what a fish. Goes by the name of Bella. Beautiful Bella. Let's get some pictures. Just ready to kind of wrap the session up, to be honest. And it's gone again. Been out there 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And it's absolutely rattled off. And we've got another hard fight in common. Number 13. Lucky for some. Well, the kettle didn't even have a chance to finish boiling, and the right hand rod ripped off again. Probably the smallest one of the session, but it's another fish and I'm absolutely loving it. This may be the last one now, as time is really slipping away now, so we'll get this one back and I will finish that tea. Right, so we've come to the end of the session now. There's a maximum of 48 hours on this lake and I'm very close to running that time out. So I'm going to start packing up in about half an hour and head off home. Dying for a shower and some decent food as well. But it's been a very enjoyable session. Don't know when I'm going to get out next. I'm hoping to get out next week if I can fit some time in around work. I'm off to work tomorrow morning, so looking forward to getting back out already, to be honest. When I got here on Monday morning, I walked around twice in the morning and didn't really fancy it too much. So I actually drove up to another lake just up the road. I also walked around that one twice and I didn't fancy that one either. So I got in the car and I flipped a coin and the other lake actually won. But I went with my gut instinct and come over here anyway. I'm very, very glad I did, because what a session it's turned out to be. So if you don't see me with another carp, fingers crossed you do, but if you don't, I'll see you next time.
Hello. So, something a little bit different than you may have seen in previous episodes of Between the Seams. As you may have guessed, I'm out for a day's pike fishing. Something I started a little bit of last year, and I've been looking forward to the colder months this year to be having another good go. It's safe to say I've fallen in love with my little lure rod. It's beginning of February now, we've just come out of that real cold snap at the end of January, and making the most of these short winter days with one rod, getting a bit of action. It'll be first couple of casts here again, if I get one. And he's in. Just like that. First cast in this swim. Another one. Boom. Second swim, first cast, another pike, round about, I don't know, 7 or 8 pound, not going to weigh this one. Let me get straight back. Straight to bank. Come over here on Sunday for a couple of hours. Now I went out on the boat, which is the first time I've actually sort of done it here, because I wanted to fish some of the deeper water, which I can't get to with a lure, and I'm not really a fan of dead baiting. And I cast in a fucking tree. There we go. Anyway, yeah, so last week, Sunday, a couple of hours on the boat and absolutely nothing. And I sort of, where I've had some good sessions over in the past, and none of them have been on longer than about an hour or two. It's a little bit disheartened to not catch. And then it's not really what you want, especially when your next trip over here is going to be with all the cameras. So, but it is fishing, and just shows you. I didn't actually fish this spot because, I mean, Sunday, what was it, 2 days ago? I didn't want to come and fish this spot, which is a spot that has done me fish every single trip. And knowing full well I'll be back here today, so I didn't really want to kick any pike out of the area, especially as they're quite territorial fish and they'll sit there for a while. Didn't want to risk them catching them and then chipping off. So paid off. 2 fish from the spot in, I don't know, an hour, half an hour, 20 minutes. Pretty much it's my last cast, and then head around the other side. It's going to be slightly warmer water because it's water that's had the sun this morning. But it's a little bit shallower, so instead of jig fishing, brought my jerk rod with me. I'm going to put some neutral baits on, sit in mid-water and have a play with that, see if I can get them up in the upper layers and above the weed. Yeah. I think it's quite a nice pike actually. Come off. Come off. Yeah. Good pike, that was. Part of pike fishing. You do tend to lose a fair few pikes sometimes. I've been quite lucky, to be honest. But you can never guarantee a hook hold, especially when you only got one. But 'tis what it is. Still cut the spots along here. I want to try on the other side, and obviously I'm going to try once again where I had a couple from first thing this morning, see what happens. But I do have another venue in my back pocket to try a little bit later on. So the day is far from finished, and I'm sure there are more pike to be caught.
Yes, in.
So there we go. Certainly not as big as the other two, and definitely not as big as the one I lost earlier, but a very welcome little pike. It seems to have slowed up a little bit up until this point, but we're going to persevere because I have caught fish from most, well, caught pike from most swims in this lake in past trips. So there's no reason why I shouldn't go catch a couple more. So yeah, the sun's gone away now, which is definitely a good thing. So I'll get this one back, and should be able to catch some more.
Well done, Bob.
Good.
That up there, got to take as well.
You did?
Yeah.
So did I. I was recording on my chest.
Was you?
Yeah. Right, it's getting to about 2 o'clock now. I'm going to finish my trip around the lake. I'm going to fish the last few swims that I have caught fish from in the past. But I'm not going to waste too much time. I'm going to get to the van and go to the other lake, which is only about 15 minutes away. So yeah, I'd like to think there's a good chance of a few fish in there as well. Yes, big pike. Boom. Should I take it? So there we go. Pretty much one of my last casts, but yeah, no, it paid off. This one just down to the left of the swim, where I had actually seen fish down to the right. So can't moan at that in the slightest. I think, to be fair, it's probably worth 1 or 2 more casts before we get on the road to our last destination. But yeah, can't moan at that at all. Happy days. Right, so we've just arrived at our final venue for today. It's a place only about 5 minutes away from my house and about 10 minutes away from the last lake we were at. I did actually fish here through the Christmas period, and something pretty special happened. I had a pike that was a PB by an absolute mile, and unfortunately I didn't have my camera or my scales with me, but all I know, it was a PB and it was one hell of a fish. So if I can come close to that in the last hour of light, then happy days. So without missing about too much longer, I'll have a little flick around and see if I can get one more pike for the end of this session.
Yeah.
Another one.
Good bit of fun, isn't it?
Mate, I absolutely love it. Like I was saying to you earlier, like I couldn't think of much of a better way fishing than a little light rod and finding them and getting like the buzz of catching them instead of sitting by a carp lake with 3 rods out in front of you, freezing your nipples off. Go and find some pike. Watch out for them pike. Angry pike. Do what you like, he's. There he is. So, didn't take long at all. Fish number 2. We've been here for about 15 minutes now, and yeah, can't complain at all. Not quite as big as the ones we was catching this morning, but in shallow water, right under our rod tip. Absolutely brilliant bit of sport. Still got about half an hour of light left now, so can make the most of it. Get this one back. Hopefully, try and get that elusive one that I didn't get to weigh last time. You know, when I was over here during the winter, well, during the Christmas period, it was a lot more weedy. So I was basically skimming the lure along the surface, and it was when the weeds stopped, just in front of me, it sort of came out amongst the weed and just bang. Won't forget that. I mean, previous to this year, I hadn't really done a lot of pike fishing. I've sort of had a lure rod and I've had a go over my old syndicates and stuff, and I've caught 1 or 2. But I sort of came over here and had 2 the other side at around about sort of 6 or 7 pound, and came around here, and I remember walking around here and saying to myself, like, I'm going to set myself a winter target to catch a double figure pike. And then lo and behold, the next fish I had, in fact it's probably the next cast, was a fish that I'm going to struggle to beat anytime soon. But it's certainly planted the seed, to be fair, because ever since then I'm loving it. I can't remember, in all honesty, the last time I enjoyed my fishing this much, to be completely honest. Right, so that pretty much brings the day to an end. It's been a really enjoyable day, lots of walking, lots of casting, and a few pikes to sort of top it all off. End of the day, we are all carp anglers, and Pike fishing is something, as I say, I started a little bit last year and I've really got into it, and it's certainly something I'm going to sort of bring into my own fishing with the rest of the colder months, and I'm sure for years to come. As you can see, the light is well and truly starting to fade away now, and just to top off the day, there's a nice little country pub up the road about 2 minutes from here, so just before we head home, I'm going to stop in for a nice cold pint. Thanks for watching. Get through that in there. I can stop off at the f***ing thanks for ending bit, thanks for watching, or before that, but yeah, that's me done. I'm tired, a lot of casting, my shoulder hurts, so I'm going to have a pint, I'm going to go and pass out on my sofa, so I can go to work tomorrow nice and early, so I can make all you people nice and happy watching these videos we've made to make. So I'm going to go home.
It was literally like that.
Yeah, it was really big.
In some respects it's quite cool that it's all a bit of a mystery, in a weird way. Yeah. I can't sit here and say, oh yeah, it was 17 pounds 12 ounces. Got a fisherman's tail, isn't it? Exactly what I've got. Yeah. That one that you couldn't